All right, guys, welcome back. It is good to be back. Had a week off after July 4th, and we are ready to get back rolling. And today we are going to go over the MLB All-star break lineup. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks since I did the July update. We now have the trade deadline 2 weeks away. The All-Star game and the Home Run Derby and everything. I'll talk a little bit about that, mostly more for some other purposes. But we'll chat about that. But I told you, July is going to decide what happens at the end of July with the deadline. And there are a couple teams that have really changed around how they've played and what they've done. It's been outstanding. It has been absolutely outstanding. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. Here we go. All right, guys, it has been an absolutely huge month for a couple of teams. Teams that have really changed around the trajectory of their season. If they can come out of the All-Star game and just tread water, it's looking pretty good. And there are a couple teams that I am sure, as of now, are really trying to figure out how they want to approach the rest of this month. Do we go all in? Do we try to make a wild card run? Or do we play for next year? Really hard questions for most of the teams. So we're going to go through. The most impressive team has been the Boston Red Sox. In the month of July, from July 1st to now, in the month of July, they are 11 and 1. 11 and 1. The New York Yankees, by contrast, are 5 and 7. 5 and 7. This is huge. They have gained 6 games on the Yankees. They are now sitting in the loss column 2 games behind the Yankees. They've actually played 2 more games than the Yankees have. The Toronto Blue Jays are actually the team that is now in first. They have gone 9 and 3 in the month of July, and they've lost the last 2. They've actually lost the last 2 to the Athletics before the All-Star break. They are now 2 games in front of the Yankees, 3 games in front of the Red Sox. The Tampa Bay Rays have had a horrible last 10 games. They're 2 and 10 in their last 10 games. They're 3 and 9 in the month. So they've lost 8 games to the Red Sox, and they've lost a 6-game lead on the Blue Jays. Like, it has totally changed around. Now the Orioles are once again basically floating and treading water. They've gone 6 and 5 so far this month. But honestly, this has been a really wild month. Now, when you go to the AL Central, this is what I want to talk about. I said the AL Central is going to be really interesting to watch because some teams could give up. So when you look here, you now have the Tigers leading the division by 11 and a half games over the Twins. But then the Royals and the Guardians are both 12 games back. In the month of July, the Tigers have gone 500. They've gone 6 and 6. The Twins have gone 1 game better, 7 and 5. The Royals have gone 8 and 4. The Guardians have gone 6 and 7, and the White Sox have gone 4 and 9. So obviously, as we've known, the White Sox are absolutely looking at the future. There's no doubt about it. But now if you're the Royals, how you finish out July? What if you get to 500? Like, that can really change a lot. We're going to look at the playoff standings in just a second. Let's get through the AL West. This division has basically just kind of been ho-hum this month. The Astros are 500 at 6-6. The Mariners and Rangers are both 7-5. And the Angels and Athletics are 6-7 and 6-5. The Athletics have really actually had a very, very good month. And I want to give them a lot of credit. They're only 16. I know I said only. But they're only 16 games back of the division lead. For a team that is struggling to get 10,000 fans to show up, that doesn't have a true home right now, one of the cheapest in Major League Baseball, these guys are playing hard. And I really want to give them credit. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're currently sitting only 16 games back. The Mariners are 5 games back of the Astros. Rangers are 8.5, and the Angels are 9. It's really been a very interesting month with the American League. Now, when you go to the wild card, this is where everything is interesting. The top 3 are the Yankees, Red Sox, and then the Mariners. The first team out is the Tampa Bay Rays, which are a game and a half back. Then the Rangers at 3.5. The Twins and Angels are 4 games back. The Royals and Guardians are 4.5. And the Orioles, of which I keep saying if they can just keep improving, they're not out of it. They're only 7.5 back. And I've got to mention them, the Athletics are only 11 games back. You can go on a run. The Red Sox were struggling. And, I mean, it was bad. Their month of June, they were 14-12. Their month of May, they were 11-7. In July, they're currently 11-1. It just takes 1 month. A 6-game turnaround. The Orioles and the Athletics could easily be in this by the time the end of August rolls around. And here's the thing. So I was looking at it. When you go to the schedule, okay, because I wanted to make sure I knew exactly when the last day was, okay? So I looked, I'm making sure I figured this out correctly. The last day of the regular season is, I believe, let me find it here. Boom, there it is. There it is. So the last week, the last day is Sunday, September 28th. So let's say at the end of August, the Athletics and the Orioles are 3 games and 5 games out of the wild card. They can make a run. They can easily make a run. They can make moves that will easily impact this. And I wanted to look at who were the final series. What's the final series going to be? So these are the matchups we have. This is the final series of the year for these teams. The Cardinals are at the Cubs. The White Sox are at the Nationals, so nobody cares about that series whatsoever. That's fine. But the Twins are at the Phillies. The Orioles are against the Yankees. The Rays are at Blue Jays. The Tigers are at the Red Sox. The Mets are at the Marlins. The Rangers are at the Guardians. The Pirates are at Atlanta. Nobody's going to care about that one. Atlanta, I think, is going to be selling at the trade deadline. The Reds are at the Brewers. The Astros play at the Angels to close out the year. The Diamondbacks are at San Diego. The Dodgers play at Seattle to finish the year. Kansas City, the Royals, are going to be at the Athletics. And the Rockies are going to be at the Giants to close out the year. Those are the matchups that we're going to have to close out the year. Those are the 15 matchups for the final series of 2025's regular season. And there are at least 10 of those, 15, that could have very big playoff implications in those 3 games. It could take a sweep to knock somebody out or to get somebody in, but on that Friday, September 26th, there is potentially 10 series that could still have playoff implications. And for everything that Adam Silver has done in the NBA, with the parity and everything else, I love having competitiveness breed closer scheduling, closer results, the standings. I love having teams be more evenly matched. Sorry, I was getting ready to cough and I did not want to. So that's the American League. That's the American League. Number 1 team is the Tigers at 59-38. Second's the Astros at 56-40. And the Blue Jays are 55-41. Now, let's go to the National League. So here we go. My goodness. The National League is a mess. It's really a mess right now. There's really only one team that's really done anything even slightly impressive. So the Philadelphia Phillies in the month of July have been 5-6. The Mets have gone 7-5, so they've closed the gap. The Marlins have gone 7-6. The Braves are 4-8. They continue their slide. And the Nationals are 3-9. They continue their downward trend as well. So when you look at it now, the Phillies and Mets are basically tied. The Mets are behind by a half game. They've got one more loss than the Phillies do. The Marlins are 10.5. They are officially in third place. The Braves are 12.5 back, and the Nationals are 17. Now, the Nationals don't feel like the Athletics nearly as much in this. They're not playing that well. They're not improving as the season goes on. They don't have a bunch of trade targets that people are going to be after. Now, when you go to the Central, this one has been really big, especially over the last 10 games. The Milwaukee Brewers have done amazing. They have won 7 in a row, gone 8-2 in their last 10, and in the month of July have gone 9-3. The Cubs have gone 8-4. They've had some rough patches. They haven't looked great, and then they've been okay, but they have lost a little bit of their convincing ability to win the NL Central. The Brewers are sitting only 1 game back of the Cubs, which should not happen, and I'll tell you why in a second. The Cardinals are 6.5 back. The Reds are 7.5. They're above 500, 7.5 games back. And the Pirates are 18.5. Once again, they've gone 2-8 in their last 10. And it hasn't really all looked that great. They're 3-8 in July. The Reds are 6-6, and the Cardinals are 4-7. Now, the NL West. The Dodgers have had a horrible month. They have gone 3-7 in their last 10. They're 5-7 in July. The problem is the Padres and the Giants and the Diamondbacks have not taken advantage to the fullest. The Padres are 7-5 in July. The Giants are 7-5. The Diamondbacks are 5-8, and the Rockies are 3-9. What that has done, it has basically kept the Dodgers as comfortable as they need to be heading into the All-Star break. 5.5 in front of the Padres, 6 in front of the Giants, 11 in front of the Diamondbacks, and 35.5 in front of the Rockies, who are still currently the worst team in baseball. But, so here's something, and this is what I was talking about. The Cubs should not be only 1 game in front of the Brewers. The problem that happens with the Cubs, and this is really, it's kind of alarming. They have scored 512 runs. The Dodgers have scored 518 runs. The Yankees have scored 501. They are the number 2 scoring team in the league. They have allowed 393 runs. 393. They have a plus run differential of 119. The Brewers, by contrast, have a run differential of plus 81. They've scored 457 and allowed 376. The problem with the Cubs, and I'm speaking specifically for the Cubs right now, the problem with the Cubs is they go really hot and cold. They'll have a huge outburst, 8, 10, 11 runs. And then they'll have 2 games where they barely even score 2 runs between the 2 games. Really hot and cold. The consistency definitely bothers me. No doubt about it. But what this has done, let's look at the wild card for the National League. The Brewers. The Brewers are the top spot in the National League. They're 4 games in front of the Padres, which hold the final spot. And then the Giants are a half game back. Cardinals are a game and a half. Reds, 2.5. Diamondbacks, 5.5. Braves, somehow amazingly, are still only 9.5 games back. And then the Pirates, Nationals, and Rockies are obviously further back than that. So technically, the Braves could still try to make a go at it. They're 9.5 back. Could they go on a run? Yes. But they're 3-7 in their last 10. I really doubt it. And I said the same thing about the Red Sox, so I could be wrong. Fully. Could be wrong. This may be the year. I mean, the injuries are really playing a big part. The Reds, to their credit, their ace has been on the IL, and they're still only 2.5 out. Look out for the Reds. To me, the Reds are a really, really, really sleeper team to make the NL wild card. Something tells me if they make a move for pitching help and maybe a platoon bat that can come in, and one of those guys that may not be great if you play him every day, but a guy that can get a hit when needed to get a hit, a simple hitter. I think they may be able to get over the hump is not the correct term. They don't need to get over the hump because I don't think they have a championship team. But to make the playoffs and just get back to the playoffs and just be in the show at the end of the year, I think they can. If they can get pitching help, if they can get Hunter Green back, it'd be outstanding for them. Their ace is wonderful. I do believe they have a legit shot. The Cardinals have a couple different things to figure out. And now let's talk about the trade deadline and let's wrap this thing up. So the trade deadline is coming up here. And I really don't see a ton of teams yet that are going to be fully willing to sell, especially since the wild card is so close. They're not necessarily in running for their division, but they are in the running for the wild card. And I think that holds a lot of weight, especially when you're less than 5 games. So let's say you're 5 or less. Let's count the teams that are 5 or less between the wild card spot and themselves. So the Seattle Mariners hold that 6th spot in the American League. Behind them, between half a game to 5 games, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 teams just within 5 games at the All-Star break. The Orioles are 7.5. But you have 6 teams within 5 games of that 3rd wild card spot. Now you go to the National League. How many teams do we have here? The Padres are sitting there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only the Giants, Cardinals, Reds, and Diamondbacks. The worst teams are definitely in the National League, and that's really unfortunate. Like the Washington Nationals, Colorado Rockies. I've been playing. Some of you may have seen it, but I've been playing Backyard Baseball 01 on Steam. Just getting my absolute nostalgia blood flowing and pumping hard. It's been awesome. But I remember those Rocky teams with Larry Walker and Todd Helton And I remember the Rockies being a fun team to watch. They had some of the best pure hitters on the Colorado Rockies. I remember that. And Todd Helton is one of my all-time favorite first basemen ever. I loved Todd Helton. So I don't like that the Rockies and the Nationals should not have an issue, but it seems like the Nationals and the Wizards cannot get stuff figured out. Thankfully, the Commanders did, and I hope they continue to improve. And the Pirates are just the Pirates. The Braves can turn this around. I think this may be the time to sell it, rebuild, and get ready for another push in another year and a half. The Marlins, they've been rebuilding, trying to tool up for a while. They need to go. They're 7.5 out of the wild card spot. This is the time you need to go. You're only 7.5 back. Absolutely go. That is 100% what I'm going to say. So there's where we're at the All-Star break. The Red Sox just winning 10 in a row and being able to gain in on the Blue Jays, with the Blue Jays losing two straight. Like, they were 9-1. They were on a pace to be able to match the Red Sox at 11-1 if they could just sweep the Athletics. They did not. And that really gave the Red Sox the ability. I mean, they're 3 games back of the division lead now. And the up and down is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, I'm excited. I am absolutely excited to see what happens. It's going to be fun. Now, as far as the All-Star game is concerned, I'm not betting on the All-Star game. There's really no bets. But FanDuel did have and does have a promotion until the Home Run Derby goes live. Bet $10 on whoever you believe is going to win. And for every home run they hit, regardless of if they win or not, for every home run they hit, you get a $1 bonus bet per home run they hit. My guy that I've got, because Cal Raleigh is obviously first, O'Neal Cruz is right there. My guy that I have got sitting up there is James Wood. I'm going to go with the dark horse because in these home run derbies, sometimes that's what it takes. And I hope Cal doesn't get screwed up by the home run derby. He's been hitting balls out of the park. I don't know if the home run derby does mess people up. I'm not sure. I'm really not. To have a one night where you're just having fun and swinging, it is hard for me to believe that one night of just having fun and playing around screws up the entire rest of the year. I mean, they don't play a game again until Friday? Let's double check here. Yeah, Friday. Friday is when all the series open up. So they are off from Monday to Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're off. They get 4 days off for the All-Star break, and then they come back all on Friday. And Red Sox at the Cubs. That's one of the opening series. Brewers at the Dodgers. The Astros are at Seattle. St. Louis is at Arizona. New York is at Atlanta. If Atlanta starts getting hot now, they could really do some damage to the Yankees. Big series in Toronto. The Giants at the Blue Jays to open this up, and the Reds at the Mets. So we've got some big series this weekend. Absolutely love it. I know there's a lot of people that fell off of baseball between the Mitchell report, all the stuff with the steroids, and just how boring the game has gotten. Listen, I fully believe they've done an amazing job of speeding up the game, making it really competitive. It's really hard to bet. My gosh, is this stuff hard to bet. Even the good pitchers are getting knocked around. It's just one of those things. They've done a good job, and I need to give them credit where credit's due. They lost a lot of people that used to watch all the time. I do believe that not having the regional networks anymore has hurt that. It's hurt it immensely. Your big dogs at all these other companies are going to be like, no, that can't really hurt it. Yes, it can. Yes, it can, because I lost my Fox Sports Midwest, which I would watch the White Sox, the Cubs. My Fox Sports Ohio had, the Cincinnati Reds. Yes, the FanDuel Sports Network has a bunch of different stuff, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. So, football is coming back. We're actually going to start all the training camp reports. We're going to start that series here in next Monday. So next Monday, it is a 3-week series. We're going to be doing the training camp report for each team, and it'll be 2 teams per podcast. The snapshots really wore me down. It was really hard to do. The 32 teams in basically 32 days, getting all those snapshots out, getting everything done. It was a lot. I wasn't, it was a lot of work because I did all the background stuff. We're going to do 2 teams per to be able to take down the amount of days I need. We're going to get ourselves into August, comfortably into August. Football's going to be rolling around. We'll have all the previews and stuff like that. So that'll start next Monday, will be the first training camp report episode. We're going to finish out this week, finish the NBA free agency, the trades, some of that stuff, talk about some of the other stuff that's gone on in the league, and then we'll kind of just go from there. But really good to be back. Took vacation last week. It's a little bit slow. Really proud of the USA. Fighting hard, losing to, our rival Mexico, but really excited about the World Cup next year now. I loved the showing in the Gold Cup from Team USA, and pumped, absolutely pumped. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Have an absolutely fantastic night. Make it the best Tuesday that you can, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Like, subscribe. Great to see everybody. We'll go over some fantasy updates because we had a big draft. Actually, I'll go through the rundown of some of the leagues here on the podcast here shortly, because I'm going to keep giving you updates with different moves that are being made and what's going on, because it's a really hard league, and I'll explain that when I get into that episode. But have an absolutely great rest of your day. Have a great Tuesday, and I will see you guys Tuesday night. Until then, for Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great night, guys.